Hi everybody! Woo-hoo! It's masterclass time and we're gonna roar! Get ready for it! Me roar louder, louder than a lion, and you're gonna hear me roar. Come on! Get dancing! Get ready! Get in the spirit! Right. Are you ready? Because I have been so excited about this one. And I am ready to help you to roar. And that is what we are going to do today. So this is all about how to generate aligned content for social media. Now I'm going to get on and get straight in and do it, and hopefully people will join as we come in. I'm just looking to see. Hi Rochelle, nice to see you. It's fantastic to see you here. So I'm going to get on so we can, I've got a lot of content to cover. It might go over the 30 minutes, but I'm not going to rush anything, and I'm not going to let that worry me, because I want you to get as much information as possible. Okay? So, first thing I need to do is I need to tell you that I've got 2 bits of exciting news for you. And I'm going to tell you more about that later in the live. Now, the first one is I need to reveal the winner of the person who's invited the most people to the group in order to benefit from this amazing masterclass today. And then I've got another bit of exciting news, so wait and see what that is towards the end, okay? So I've got all my notes here and I've got so much to tell you, so if you see my eyes going back and forth, they're there so I remember to tell you everything and I don't forget anything. Firstly, make sure if you haven't already, get a notepad and pen because you will need it. So, if you aren't attracting your clients and people aren't commenting on your posts, or they're not interacting with you on social media, there is something within you that isn't aligned. And when I mean isn't aligned, I mean isn't aligned with your business, with what you do. And these are some of the following reasons why you won't be aligned with your business. Your business isn't aligned with who you are as a person. You don't believe that you are good enough. You have doubts that you're as good as other people out there. You doubt your knowledge and feel a fraud. You are worried about making a fool of yourself. You copy what other people are doing, which is fine if that is aligned with you. But if you feel uncomfortable when you're doing this copying and you're just doing it because they are, then that's no good. Another thing is you might not like being vulnerable, and you want to constantly be perfect. Now, being vulnerable is a good thing. You need to be able to be vulnerable. It might be that you aren't actually fully fulfilled within your business. And another thing might be that you aren't showing your clients truly who you are from here. So if you're just plugging away on social media and you keep doing the same thing over and over and you don't change anything about what you're doing, you just do more of what you're doing because you think, well, if I do more, surely I will get somewhere. You won't, because if it's not working, you will stay in exactly the same position. You can't move forward if you're stuck in the same routine. So far, it hasn't got you where you want to be. So why will it suddenly change? Now, I'm not saying give up. No way. And I know people say just keep going and persevere until you get there, until you get to your goal, which, yes, I believe that 100%. But don't keep going on something that just isn't working. The whole part of self-awareness is having the guts to admit to yourself that something is not working and that you need to address it. And the main thing that you need to address are your habits. Everything in life that we do constantly, and we just do it and do it and do it, is a habit. So your social media that you're doing on a general day, posting, whatever you're doing, has become a habit. And if you aren't getting interaction, or most importantly, you aren't getting people buying into your product, it has become a habit that does not serve you. And by that, I mean it isn't helping you to grow further in your business. So you're probably thinking of a habit as biting fingernails, or walking the dog at 8 o'clock every morning, or kind of maybe a habit might be putting your clothes in colour code in the wardrobe. I don't know, those type of habits. But so all things in life that we do over and over again are habits. So there are things that are habits that aren't serving us, that you are doing over and over again, and these are habits. And if we are doing these habits that I'm about to explain to you, and I want you to write these down as well, because I'm going to go through a list of habits that aren't serving you, that are helping you not to be aligned with you, okay? And not to be aligned with your business. So I want you to write this list down, and after the masterclass today, I want you to truthfully, and I mean truthfully, go through the list and see if you are doing these things that are habits that aren't serving you. And I want you to be truly honest, okay? So, here we go. Laziness, overwhelm, failure, impatience, gossiping, not managing your money well, doing the same things that aren't working over and over, going back on your plans, not finishing things or starting something and then doing something else, having too many ideas that you don't actually focus on one thing, ever, turning up late to scheduled events online, your events, cancelling your online events, putting things off, making excuses. And when I say making excuses, I mean things like, I'm tired, I haven't got enough time. Those excuses that we keep telling ourselves, that's why we're not able to do it. They're an excuse. Thinking that the worst is going to happen if you do something. So, for instance, if you're going to some people have a fear of lives, and if you're going to go on and do a live that you think, oh my word, I'm going to make an absolute fool of myself, everybody thinks I'm going to be a complete and utter moron, and then you just put yourself in a frenzy and then you won't do it. So don't think that the worst is going to happen. Don't seek approval. Self-doubt is another one that people do. Also putting yourself down. Second guessing yourself. So what you're doing from these habits that aren't serving us is reacting to our subconscious belief, okay? And once we start to become aware and decide to consciously respond, not react, so respond instead, we can change our reality. And in this context, change how people engage with our social media. But more importantly, attract the right clients, customers, audience who wants exactly what we have to offer and is willing to pay for it. Okay, so now we've talked about the habits that don't serve you. I want to talk about the habits that serve you. So get your pen again and make sure that you write these down. Now, these are habits that I have adopted from other people around me that are doing the do, successful people in online businesses that are kicking arse. Now, for me, that is successful kind of life coaches. But for you, it might be another business. It might be artist. It might be a car sales person. It might be a network marketer person. It might be a writer. This can relate to any business, is what I'm trying to say, where you are marketing, because that's what you're doing, your business online. And I would say, above all, take time to look at really successful people in your line of business, see what they are doing on social media that you aren't. So you need to develop these habits in order to change how people are reacting with your social media. Now, get your pen ready because I'm about to say it. And again, after this masterclass, go through them and honestly say to yourself, how many of these do I actually do on a daily basis? Tick them off, the ones that you do, and then add a big fat cross if you don't do them. And remember, a habit is something you do every day. It's not something you do once every 2 weeks or once a month. Okay? So bearing that in mind, be truthful. Okay? So here we go. Take risks. Stick to decisions. Set good boundaries. Now, I just want to say quickly, something just popped in my head. Some of these things are on here. I have been through these. I have kind of been through the opposite end, and I am now on this one, and everything is falling completely into place, and it feels amazing. So, set good boundaries. Give back to others. Work smart. Do a spiritual workout daily. Read self-help books. Exercise. Meditate. Get noticed in high affluent Facebook groups. Delegate. Constantly learn. stay disciplined, focus, practice patience. Surround yourself with people that kick ass. Talk about ideas, not other people. Get back up instead of giving up. Show up on time. Know what's going on around you. Know what's going on with your money. Get up early, and I mean before 6 a.m. There really is a time before that. You might think, well, how has some of this list got to do with me creating Aligned Social Media? It's got absolutely everything on the planet to do with it. So, and if you don't think it is, that's why you're struggling. So I'm going to go through some of the list and explain it a bit more. I can't go through everyone exactly, each one on the list, because we haven't got time. But I want to say here, if you feel that any of what I'm saying is making sense to you, and you need more of this from me, and you would like to be guided through it on a step-to-step basis by me in order how to create aligned social media, then it sounds like you would be ready to work with me. So I'm going to tell you more about how you can find out about that towards the end. But what I will do if you work with me, I will give you a step-to-step guide spiritually to do the inner work, but also more importantly, not more importantly, as importantly, also the actual strategies of what to do in order to create aligned social media. Okay? So I'm going to go through some of the things on the list of habits that do serve you. So, delegate. So for instance, if you delegate your cleaning to a paid cleaner, you will have more time to focus on your social media rather than rushing it and not having the time to dedicate to it because you've sourced something out to somebody else and that gives you more time. Or it could be, if it's not your cleaning, it could be that you delegate your scheduled weekly social media posts to somebody else. Somebody that maybe specialises in writing copy, writing content. And then you could concentrate on doing other things for your Facebook. You could do your Facebook Lives or creating kind of stunning visuals for your social media. Or creating a bank, a bank of exciting videos to post to people. Or it could be that you have somebody in your Facebook group that you could use as an admin that is completely aligned with your business and they can post regularly, and then you've got more posting going on. So that's one way of delegating. There are other ways, but that's some ways. So another thing that you might think off the list, this doesn't make sense, knowing what's going on with your money. If you know what your bank account is doing and you check it daily and regularly, you do your income and your expenses, you will know exactly what is in your bank account. I do this virtually every day and it's amazing. You will have peace of mind and therefore you will feel on the ball. You'll feel great about yourself because you won't have anything niggling in the background, and therefore it means you will show up on social media shining because your headspace is calm and you have the reins of your power. Now the other one, and I particularly like this one, is getting up early. Getting up early and creating miracles, because if you get up early, miracles are possible, because you physically create more time. So I'm talking 5, 6 o'clock at the latest, because then you've created more time in your day in order to do things. So this is one of the most valuable things that I've learned, and I actually learnt this as a child from my mother, and she used to get up at 5, 6 o'clock in the morning, and she would do her cleaning. And I probably used to think she was a bit crazy, but she would get everything done that she needed before I had to go to school. And I've taken it a step further, and I use that time for my spiritual practice and inner practice, and actually I do use it for doing the cleaning sometimes, and for cooking my dinner. But basically what happens is then at 9 o'clock I am ready to start on my business, and I have got everything done that I needed to do. It's out of the way. I've been so productive. I feel on a huge high vibe, and this in turn will reflect how you come across on social media. Now this is the biggie, spiritual workout. This is the foundation of it all. And the whole reason you might be struggling to create a line social media, this to me is the true secret about what is missing, is the inner work. The only thing that will make you aligned with who you are and what you need to do is the inner work. Digging deep, finding out who you are, what your business really is. Not copying what you think other people are doing. It is all about creating a spiritual practice. That's what I call it. Working on mindset tools on a daily basis, not once a week, but a minimum, and I mean this, a minimum of 5 days a week. Ideally 6 or 7, and ideally twice a day. It sounds like a lot, but if you want to achieve, you have to put the time in. If you say to yourself, well, I do the inner work and I practice it regularly. If you were doing this once a week or a few times a week, I'm going to be completely blunt and completely honest. That's not doing the inner work. That is not enough. In order to change the way your mind works, it has to become a habit, a daily thing. It has to be part of you. It has to be something that you breathe, that just happens. Because if you do this, you will become a shining beacon of productivity. And you need to practice the inner work every day to do this. And it's a practice. And a practice means doing something and getting better at it. So I want to share with you my old practice and my practice that I do now. So I used to practice, and I probably did this for about 2 to 3 years. I used to meditate for 30 minutes at least once a day, 4 days a week. I would say something that I call my faith statement, which is a bit like a prayer, out loud once a day, 4 days a week, if I remembered. I would read out affirmations off a website 4 days a week, if I didn't get distracted. Read out everything I'm grateful for out of my journey that I created once, never change them. Journal once a month, if I remembered. Work on my limiting belief every 6 months or so. I did this for about 2 to 3 years. And I realised actually, what I actually was doing was just going through the motions, because it hadn't become an actual daily practice. I had bounced it where it was, and I was doing it 7 days a week. But now this is my new practice, and I meditate. I make it easier for myself because I meditate at least 5 minutes, so I don't have to do 30. So 5 minutes to 30 minutes twice a day for at least 5 days. Sometimes I do 6 or 7, it depends on how I feel. I also practice gratitude, and I either meditate on what I'm feeling grateful for, or I list a minimum of 10 things that I'm grateful for, whilst listening to music that makes me feel amazing. Or sometimes I practice gratitude with my partner and we list 10 things each that we're grateful for, and we do one after another. I journal at least 3 times a week, sometimes more, but basically if I feel unease or I feel something, there's something on my mind, I feel the need to journal it, to work it out, work through it. Another thing I do is I work on my limiting beliefs whenever something comes up. If I have something that is, I feel a little niggle and it's getting in my way, that's becoming a block. So I do a clearing exercise to expel the limiting belief, and then I write affirmations that turn that negative emotion I was feeling into a positive. And then what I do is I say my current affirmations out loud whilst playing powerful music without words, which is really important. And my affirmations change, especially as I'm doing more, if I'm clearing more blocks, then I'll add or take things away. So, as I said, a spiritual practice is just that. It's something you practice over and over. And you're learning every day, which is what I'm doing. I'm still learning and keeping my spiritual practice fresh and relevant to what I need. I don't put it on autopilot, because then you're just going through the motions and not actually benefiting. I cannot stress how important the inner work is. All those people that are out there on social media kicking ass, believe me, they are spiritually aligned and they are doing the inner work. And believe me, when you do this, your creativity will start to flow and you will get ideas that will just float to you in an instant. But what is more, because you're doing the inner work, you won't ignore them. You will act on impulse. Another thing I would say that's just popped into my head, I would say staying true to who you are and what your business is about and going out there to stand out from the crowd is what social media is about. Creating an exciting story to grab people. Be clear. Be dramatic. Remember, above all, your audience are watching you the whole time. And I'm going to finish up with one big mistake that some coaches, I feel, make online. And I see this time and time again. They forget they're being watched the whole time. In their personal page as well. You are on show the whole time. So my one big tip is ensure that your social media, even your personal page, aligns with your business. So what I mean by this, so if you're a coach, for instance, helping people to improve themselves through a healthy mindset, ensure what you are posting aligns with always promoting a healthy mindset, which might seem obvious, but you want people to buy into your product. So for instance, if you post about being late and how hassled you feel, or how travelling up the motorway is doing your head in, you aren't reinforcing confidence in your mindset. Therefore, people won't believe in you. Now, I'm not saying don't be honest or don't post things where you're being vulnerable. That's completely different. That's about being authentic. It's about showing that we all have those moments and we all have those vulnerabilities, but it's how you overcame that particular moment and what you do to deal with it. I can't actually tell you what to do with your social media, because what might work for me might not be aligned with you. But what I will say, if you do what I've said in here, you will look at other people that are successful and what they are creating, and that will inspire you and give you an idea. And because you have done the inner work, you will act on it. The truth in creating aligned social media is about being aligned with you. Here, on the inside, knowing exactly what makes you tick, not caring about what anybody else thinks about you, having complete tunnel vision and belief in what you are doing with absolute 150% commitment. So I'm going to end this with a little prayer from Gabrielle Bernstein, which quite a few of you might have heard of. I lean into the inspiration of my desires, and I know it's enough to lead me toward what is of the highest good. I surrender this desire to the universe, and I know I am being guided. So, just to sum it all up, this masterclass is only a scratch on the surface of how I could help you. I can't guide you through it all today, but if you feel that anything I am saying is making sense, I know from what I've achieved in the last 4 months in my business that I can support you. And I can support you to make a huge difference in your social media presence and how to do that. So I've got some amazing news, which I said at the beginning of the masterclass. I'm opening my diary up to work with 5 new amazing people from this group. But once those 5 places have gone, that's it. I can only take 5 due to my capacity. But if you want a step-by-step guide of how to do this, and somebody there actually taking you through it, and I just want to say I have a coach, and this is why I am achieving what I'm achieving now, is because that is the difference in me. It is having that person that is helping me through it all. So if you want to go further in your business, I can't stress how important having a coach is. If you want to know what working with me as a coach would look like, and you are serious about making a change, you can book a discovery call with me to see what this would look like. I'm going to put the link to my diary in the comment thread, but this is for people that are serious about investing and that really want to make changes. If you book a discovery call before Tuesday, so that's in 3 days, I will give you a free Power Hour coaching session just for booking the discovery call with me. Now, and it's a free discovery call as well. It's completely free. Now, I have one more announcement. That is the winner of the free gift. I'm really excited about this, and I'm really pleased it's this person because I get so much energy from this person. I see them posting on social media. The person who invited the most people to the group was Teo Macready. So well done and congratulations. You really deserve this. You have won a free Power Hour coaching session with me, and I'll contact you directly to arrange this. So I'm feeling emotional. Oh, I'm so excited for you, Teo, and I can't wait to connect with you. So I'm going to sign off for today and leave you with this statement from Katy Perry, actually. You're a firework. Come on, show them what you're worth. I'm just going to leave you with this. Goodbye, everybody. Have a beautiful day. Fantastic. I'm glad you've seen it. Hi Ross, hope you've all enjoyed it. Be a firework, everybody. You deserve it. Have a beautiful day. Bye.